there are some positions in football that are very, very crucial to a system. They are very absolutely crucial to a system. And I think one of those positions in this Michael Carrick system is going to be the left back. The left back, the right back. And of course, they pivot, either a double pivot or a single pivot. Those are going to be one of the most important positions in Michael Carrick's system. And if it's going to work, we need a left back that will be able to do the things that Michael Carrick would want. You get me? To do the things that Michael Carrick would want. And with that, we have to first look at the big picture. We have to look at the big picture. We have to understand what we have in that position at Manchester United. And then we have to then dissect and understand and break down what we need, especially for what we need in the future. So, of course, we have to look back at Ruben Amorim. At one point, Ruben Amorim was playing the 3-4-2-1 system with wing backs. Michael Carrick has switched United from that back three now to a back four. A back line of 4-2-3-1. That without the ball changes to a 4-4-2. That single tactical change is the domino effect that have knocked over everything at that left back. At that left back, a wing back profile in Patrick Dorgu suddenly doesn't fit in that same role anymore. It does not. And a natural, positionally disciplined left back is now a first team priority yet again. You get me? Because we thought that we bought Patrick Dorgu to play that left wing back role and he was the future because Luke Shaw had shifted into a left centre back role and is not going to, if he was going to play the wing back, doesn't have the ability or the athleticism or even the legs to go back, forward and back without a lot of stress on his body. And now that the system has changed again, we need somebody that positionally is disciplined and understand his role to the T. Now, United didn't just lose a manager in that situation. We lost a defensive system. You get? We changed our whole defensive system. And that left back position, that got hit the hardest. Amongst every position that Ruben Amorim changed and Michael Carrick changed back, that particular position in the left back got hit the hardest. Because let's start with Patrick Dorgu. Because Patrick Dorgu was signed as a left back, of course, and now, and not playing in the back three, but playing as a wing back in that situation. Signed from Leeds. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm not really sure. For 30 million euros, with a further 5 million in performance-related add-ons. Specifically brought in as Ruben Amorim's left wing back. Under Michael Carrick, he has been shifted to the left winger position, and it actually worked. He has scored in three goals and 2 assists across the last 7 Premier League games under Michael Carrick, including the Derby winner versus City and a wonder strike against Arsenal that was named goal of the season. That is how good Patrick Dorgu has looked in that left winger role. And now he is primed to continue that. Because what we watched in the preseason in 2026 was him starting on the left wing in both Wrexham and Rosenborg friendlies. The same position he played in the last 3 of his starts under Michael Carrick. So that tells us that Michael Carrick sees him as a left winger more likely than a left back. Now, it doesn't mean that he can't play that position. It just means that the manager likes him better in that position. Some might even say he likes him better than Matheus Cunha in that position. You understand? Even he even said this himself. You understand? While he was speaking to MUTV, he hinted that he enjoys this side of his game more than playing in a traditional fullback situation. We might have ourselves another Gareth Bale. I need you guys to understand that. We might have ourselves another Gareth Bale. So one thing is for sure. Patrick Dorgu's attacking breakout, you understand, is directly why United now have a left back hole in their team. He didn't get injured or dropped. He just got promoted into a different job in my mind. And that is why Patrick Dorgu going to that left winger position has opened up a spot that might solve this for us in the next 10 years if we actually get this particular player that I'm talking about today. And of course, then we have to go to Luke Shaw. Still the number one, but entering a contract year. He's entering a contract year. Remarkably, Luke Shaw started every Premier League game last season at his first. And you know, when you're talking about numbers of averages, or just talking about averages, what we are going to see this season, and I'm not saying this or putting this on him, we are going to be seeing Luke Shaw more times on the bench than on the field. If he plays another 38 or even gives us 30, that would absolutely be impressive. History tells us after the double leg fracture of his tibia and fibula that he sustained against PSV Eindhoven in 2015, if I'm not mistaken, that nearly cost him his leg. I don't think he's able to go back-to-back seasons playing 38 games a season. Plus, we are going to be hopefully playing more games this season than only 40. You get me? We are going to be playing more games this season than 40 games. And so, when you look at this situation, you just have to find a way to help him. He turns 31 this summer. And he's out of contract in the summer of 2027, if I'm not mistaken. A prove-it year. Same thing as Harry Maguire. A season before him. You understand? This is something that it is going to be a recurring season. If you do well this season, then we'll give you another year. If you do well the next season, we'll give you another year. I believe that is what they are trying to do in this situation. We saw Tyrell Malacia leave as a free agent. So Luke Shaw is currently the only senior natural left back at the club. The durability that made Luke Shaw indispensable last season is also the reason Man United cannot gamble on it repeating itself with Champions League football. And 2 extra cup competitions added to the fixture list. We just can't do it. And that then brings us to Harry Amass. Harry Amass, 19-year-old, London-born, joined from Watford in 2023. Debuted on his 18th birthday as a substitute in the Premier League win against Leicester, and picked up United's Jimmy Murphy Young Player of the Year award along the way. It was impressive the way he came up and the way he showed us that he has something to actually prove. His loan resume is genuinely impressive. 21 championship appearances and back-to-back Sheffield Wednesday Player of the Month award before joining Norwich City on loan, which was cut short due to a hamstring injury sustained in training. You understand? He had a really good season last year. This preseason he has been a standout player, standout name at Carrington, brought on by Michael Carrick and delivering 1 goal and 1 assist in a 5-0 win over Rosenborg. Now, it's preseason, so you can't really say that this is what he's going to be doing, because we knew what Andres Pereira was doing during preseason. He looked like Pirlo. He looked like Seedorf. He looks like the coming of Zidane in preseason. But when came the season, he just shrunk into a shell. You understand? But this form, this situation that we have on our hands, has fans saying that they would rather promote Amass than sign Lewis Hall from Newcastle this summer. And yet, the plot twist, the reports that we are hearing right now, that literally broke in the last 24 or 48 hours, say that United would prefer a permanent £6 million transfer for the left back, with several championship sides reportedly interested. Let me repeat that so you guys can understand. Manchester United are looking for at least £60 million for Harry Amass, a talented 19-year-old. I understand he has 1 year on his contract, but for the love of God, he's worth more than 6 million. Now, I understand the business. I understand the situation. Harry Amass could go for 6 million now, and we put a 50% sell-on clause, but also have a buyback clause in that situation. That could be it. And that could be a smart business, because you could put 6 million in this situation, and then Harry Amass turns into the next coming of Roberto Carlos, and they want to sell him back, but we have a buyback clause. He gets playing time. That's what he gets. So I can understand the positives of putting a £6 million transfer for the left back. However, I truly believe that he's worth more than that. You understand? So, with this particular one, why cash in for a homegrown left back for 6 million in the exact week that he is outplaying everyone in preseason? Why simultaneously chasing a 55 to 60 million pound Newcastle player for the same position? They are almost the same age. At one point, we were comparing Lewis Hall to Harry Amass when Lewis Hall was in Chelsea. All these things are things that have questions. So make sure you guys absolutely drop your comments below so I know from you guys what you're saying. Drop your comments below. And make sure you hit that subscribe button also. Take a second to hit that subscribe button. But then this leads us also to a player that we bought last season in Diego León. Arguably the forgotten man getting one last audition, or would I say someone that just has a little bit more to prove because he's that much raw of a footballer. A 19-year-old Paraguayan signed from Cerro Porteño as a 17-year-old before officially arriving in the summer of 2025. Spent almost all last season with the under-21s rather than him going out on loan. A proposed January loan move was rejected to allow him time to develop at the club. He is now the 2026 preseason tour, specifically providing him with a platform to demonstrate his readiness for the first team football and compete for a role as potential successor to Luke Shaw. There is talent in Diego León. He is stout, he has the pace, he has the braveness, and he definitely has the lungs to go up and down, up and down. He can be a wing back, he can be a traditional fullback. It depends on what you want him to do. However, if he doesn't force his way in right now, the expectation is going to be a loan in 2026-2027, following a similar path taken by Harry Amass last summer. But the truth about this situation is that León and Amass are effectively auditioning for the same 1 or 2 spots behind Luke Shaw. At the same time, United are trying to buy a starter over both of their heads. It is quite awkward for the teenagers, but the truth about it is that Manchester United are in a position right now that we need to push forward to get better, to get stronger as quick as possible, because when I say that the Premier League is wide open for the taking, I truly mean it. It truly is that. But now we have to talk about Lewis Hall, the priority target. This is the whole situation that Manchester United, one of the reasons why we are not looking to bring a left winger. because we believe that the priority after sorting out the midfield would be the left back for the future of the club. 10 more years. An assurance. I understand that. For his path to Newcastle, you understand? The path to Newcastle came through Chelsea's academy. I think he was loaned out to Newcastle in August of 2023, if I'm not mistaken, with an obligation to buy. A permanent move was finalized in July of 24 for around 28 million pounds, plus a 7 million pounds in potential add-ons. And it was a brilliant deal for Newcastle, because they would definitely be making profit. But since then, he has had around 84 Premier League appearances for Newcastle, scoring 2 goals and adding 5 assists on a contract until June 2029. So he still has a considerable amount of years on his contract. So if Newcastle do not want to sell, they won't sell. So right now, the current asking price, based on what we are hearing, is 50 million to 60 million pounds. And that's a lot of money, I understand. But when you're looking at the system, when you're looking at the transfer, right now, you understand that that might just be a bargain. In 2 years, 3 years, when we have the left back for the future for 10 more years, you look at that 50 million, you look at that 60 million, and you're like, that was a bargain. Which would make him one of the most expensive defenders in Premier League history at that position. 50 million to 60 million. I think we bought Harry Amass for around 50 million, if I'm not mistaken, from Crystal Palace, and sold him for 30-something million, which was stupid because of how talented he is. You understand? More than double what Newcastle paid just about how many years? 2 years ago. That stat alone is great. You understand? It's truly great. But the thing about this situation is that he was left out by Thomas Tuchel in the England World Cup squad entirely, despite being arguably the best Premier League young left back this season. In fact, I wouldn't even say arguably. I think he was the best one. Out and out left back. Because you can say Nico Riley, but Nico Riley is really not an out and out left back. He's a midfielder that has the ability to play in that position. So this is something that the reports are saying right now. Lewis Hall fell out of Eddie Howe's squad and was dropped from the first team action and played out of position at right back when he did feature, which several outlets tie directly to the World Cup snub. But other reports says Hall has submitted a transfer request, and reports of friction with Eddie Howe has been dismissed internally at Newcastle. That's what we're hearing. Good tension to understand what is going on in this situation. So the question is why? Why Newcastle might sell anyway? Why is this? Because when you look at these two teams and you look at what Newcastle has been doing so far, they have already sold Sandro Tonali to Tottenham Hotspur for £100 million. Lost Anthony Gordon to Barcelona for around 75 to 80 million pounds. Looked set to lose Bruno Guimaraes to Arsenal too, and failed to qualify for the European competitions in 2026. And so, for the 2026-2027 season, So right now, based on what we are seeing, Michael Carrick is described, you understand, as his first option to strengthen that left back position is Lewis Hall. That's what we are seeing so far, based on what we have heard. You understand? However, United hoping a player joins might not be the best situation, because if we are waiting for Newcastle to somehow open the doors to us, it's going to be difficult for us to get Lewis Hall. It's going to be difficult. I understand that Lewis Hall is a talented player, but I just don't feel that this is the right time to get him. I just don't feel that. I do believe that he's a talented player and he probably is the man for us heading into the future. But the question is, can we use that money in different areas? Can we use that money to get another centre back? Can we use that money for a backup striker? Can we use that money to get someone that is not as expensive as Lewis Hall, but is just as effective from West Ham in the Championship like Diouf? That's my question. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that follow button, and make sure you do us a kind favor by hitting that subscribe button, because we bring you this kind of quality content every single day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.